Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is all about tracking medications and symptoms. In this video, I will show you my medication symptom tracker and how I use it. In the next video, I will actually fill my medication pockets using the medication tracker, and I will also show you different medication containers, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and what I think the perfect container would be. Okay, this is the current system I use for tracking my medications. I created it myself. Right now I'm keeping it in one of these little small composition books because I ran out of the printed forms. But today I reprinted new forms. So I'm going to show you in my new forms. Here on the front page, it says Med Management and Weekly Fill List. I put this on the very front because it's what I start off with when I fill my medications. I track every medication, every supplement, every over-the-counter medication, everything I take is on here. So this is what I have. I put Med Management and Weekly Fill List at the top. Then we have Med, OTC, and Supplements. Those are here. And I also organized them or grouped them according to what time of the day I take them. So I have morning meds and supplements and OTCs, noon meds, supplements, OTCs, evening, bedtime, and PRNs. Then going across horizontally, I have the days of the week. And then I have, right here it says refill, then I have date, and I have done. So the idea is that each week when I refill my medication box, which currently I'm using this one, there are some things I both like and dislike about this current system. And I will go through that with you in that particular segment. For now, when it is time to fill this med container, I will do it on a Saturday, which means I need to fill it for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for every one of these items. Now, I don't always need to use a list like this, but there are times when I have bad brain fog, when I haven't been able to sleep well, and there are times when I go to take a particular medication, dump everything into my hand or the lid of a container, and one of the meds or two of the meds is missing. And that's kind of where I start to panic because I think I'm all out of it. And so having a list like this to check off as I go can really prevent some of those pitfalls that I typically tend to run into when I'm not using something like this. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen often enough that it's aggravating and stressful. Because then I have to bring out the huge, big old box with all the medications that I take on a regular basis, all the meds, OTCs, and supplements. This big old baby. Have to pull this out and start going through them all just to figure out what it is I'm missing, whether I just forgot to put it in the med pocket for that day, or whether I'm truly completely out of it. Then I have to go back and say, gee, did I call that in? Did it even get refilled? So then I have to make, if I can't find it in the box with all the other meds, then I have to make a phone call to the pharmacy to find out if I refilled it or not. And if I didn't, I'm very lucky and blessed to have a pharmacy that will get right on it for me. But having a list or a management tool such as this, that helps me to avoid those difficult situations. Additionally, a list like this can really help in times of crisis, should they arise, when somebody else needs to come in and help you with your medications. For example, if I had gotten really, really sick during COVID, which we're still battling COVID now, but had I gotten really sick and needed to go stay in the hospital and end up on IV fluids, this would have been extremely beneficial for my husband. He could have just picked it up and brought it with him to show to my providers or whoever was providing my care exactly what I've taken and how long ago it was that I had taken it and what I need to take in the future next few hours. Not only that, there are times when I have come home very sick. Not very many, but in 2012 I had pneumonia and I was very sick. So I needed help with things like this. This is clear, it's easy. It says exactly what the medication is and how many caps or tablets I need to take of that medication. And it says exactly what days of the week here that it needs to be on. Of course, this is every day, with exception to methotrexate, which isn't on here. So I need to list that one. That one isn't listed. It is a bedtime medication, but I only take it one time per week. So that one will go down here, and I will highlight the day it needs to be taken. But it still needs to be counted. Even though I only take it once a week, I still need to count it, make sure that it's in my med box, and make sure that there are enough doses in the vial that I can draw up, and make sure that if there are not enough doses, that I call the medication in to the pharmacy in time to get it before the date of my next dose is due. So this is pretty important. Many people with autoimmune disease have really bad brain fog. And so this really eliminates all the thinking and the stressing. It's just right in front of me. So this is how I take care of that. And in the next segment, I will fill my med cups. So I will show you exactly how I check off and the whole process of how I do it. And there's a segment down here for notes or anything that I need to write. Dates, like if this isn't enough space, you know, that's just a little teeny box there. So sometimes there's just not enough space, and this can be used for those. Then on the inside of the booklet, I have the first page. Is that page 1? Yeah. So you'll see here that I have date at the top, sleep next, then I have meds, and under meds I have scheduled. And then I have a dot on the hours. This is like a daily. So what I have here is PRN, that means as needed. Then we have morning, day, evening, and HS means hour of sleep. I could put bedtime, but this is shorter and easier. So I put a dot on each part of the day when meds need to be taken or supplements. So what I will do is put a check mark right after I take the morning pills out of the morning one. Then I also have PRNs down here under scheduled. Tylenol, ibuprofen, Zofran, and Ambien. I do not usually take ibuprofen because of other meds that I'm on. It's just not recommended by my provider unless nothing else is working. If the Tylenol doesn't seem to be working without taking too much of it, then I am able to take the ibuprofen. It's just not my first choice, which is why Tylenol is up there. I could substitute naproxen for ibuprofen, and I have at times. And there is enough room here to write whatever medication I would be taking in its place. There's also extra space down here for any med changes that come about during that week or that day. So that's how that goes. And if I'm taking a particular medication, one of these as needed, I will check the PRN box, And then I will say which time I took it in. Did I take it in the morning, during the daytime, during the evening, or right at bedtime? All right, the next portion of this sheet has to do with my symptoms. And the reason that I track my symptoms and my medications on the same page is because it makes it easier to track both things in the same booklet. Also, the medications are related to the symptoms. The reason I'm taking the medications in the first place is because of the symptoms, and also because I need to calm down my immune system. But normally when my immune system is flaring, like attacking me, there are more symptoms present. So often if I have more symptoms and it's not something that I normally generally live with at a baseline, then I can come up here and say, geez, my headache really bad today. Then the PRN meds are also at times related to the symptoms. So for the symptoms, I write what it is and I check mark the box for the time in which the symptom is occurring. Is it in the morning? Do I notice it when I first wake up? Is it at noon? Was it around noontime or lunchtime when I noticed it? If it was between noon and say 1 o'clock, I would put it in the noon spot. If it's from 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, I would check it in the evening. I mean on days. And then if it occurred in the evening, before bedtime, after dinner, but before bedtime, then I would check evening. And then if it's something I'm noticing still, or I'm only just noticing it at about bedtime, that's when I would check HS. Now, if I'm in bed and suddenly my feet start to burn, and say it's only 10 o'clock at night, I will check mark HS. But I will also note that I was already in bed and it was 10 p.m. when it started to occur. That can be something important because a particular symptom, you want to know, does it happen all the time? Always when you're laying down? Is it always late at night? Autoimmune disorders can be really tricky to figure out. So tracking your symptoms can be really beneficial. And if you're truly tracking your symptoms, you can bring your booklet into the doctor's office with you for appointments, and you can say, here, I have tracked this for 3 weeks now, or I've tracked this for 2 weeks, and it just consistently happens, always around the same time period. You know, why is this happening? Our providers, I don't want to say that they don't take us seriously. Obviously they do, but they tend to take us, our accuracy, our own degree of accuracy is taken more seriously when we've tracked it and we can show them what it was. Then I have a list down here for problems that I might have had throughout the day. Was I constantly having shortness of breath going up and down the stairs? Were my eyes drier than usual and continuing to feel dry even with eye drops? Problems that I can't resolve through either PRN medication or some other type of intervention, like an ice pack. I always try an ice pack on my head if my headache won't go away. I'm always trying something before I reach for medication, because often an ice pack will cut the headache in half, or in some cases really make it go away. So I want to avoid these extra meds if I can. So those problems are important because you can list what you did about it down here. Activity level and difficulty. If it's a good day and my symptoms are low, my activity level is usually going to go up. If it's a difficult day, because of all these symptoms, you're going to see more, I'm going to see more symptoms, and I'm going to see more severity of symptoms, and my activity level is going to go down. So then at the bottom of the page, I say rate my day. I have rate my day because there are times when I'm really having a rotten struggle, but I've pushed through it and been active anyways. A day like that I would call okay. A good day is a day when I'm pretty well able to get at least 2 chores done, not suffering with pain, and maybe a little bit of fatigue, but for the most part, it's not slowing me down. I'm still able to read and take care of my dog and maybe cook a meal or 2. That would be a good day. An excellent day is a day I call a Costco day. A Costco day is when you can go and you can get all the way through Costco, front to back, side to side, use the bathroom, and you're still in a skippy happy mood when you're walking out the door with a basket full of stuff. Now that's not something I could ever do alone. I would have to be in tandem with someone because I'm usually not able to push the cart out the door. Normally for me, a true Costco day just doesn't exist. I don't have the abilities for a full, complete Costco day. But for me, if I was able to go to Costco and maybe make it halfway through Costco, like a half Costco day, and was able to eat something while we were out and about, and still came home and got 2 to 3 chores done, and was still in a good mood and still had no pain, that would be an excellent day. Usually I live between good, okay, and poor, and usually about right here in the middle. Occasionally I have a severe day. My day today I would call poor because I've had such a bad migraine, and the migraine has limited my ability to be active. It hasn't limited my ability to get things done. The absolute have to things. If it had reduced my ability, it's reduced my ability to do those things, but not completely stopped me. A day when I'm miserable because I'm in pain and I have bad brain fog and I'm fatigued to the point where I cannot be active and I'm in bed because my arms feel like jello and I can't remember things, and I'm not sleeping well, so didn't sleep well the night before, etc. That I would call a severe day. Normally, like I said, I live somewhere in here. So the reason I do that, and I can have space down here to make notes, extra notes. The reason this is important to me because I can be going along really good and living right here, and then boom, suddenly have a couple poor days in a row, followed by a severe day, another poor day, and then I'll live here for a while. And I need to track what things did I eat? What did I experience? What activity level was I at for all those days prior? Now, it's not a severe event, is not always caused by my choosing to do over activity for me. So I don't want to blame myself, but a lot of times, if I look real hard, I can find associations. So that's why I think this is important, because it teaches me how to budget my energy, my physical energy, and my pain, and it helps me to end up, if I can budget my pain and my diet and my energy well enough, I can live up in here, which increases my quality of life. So that's why I go through this. So I hope that seeing how I track my medications and my symptoms was helpful for you. I always find it helpful to hear and see the techniques that other people use. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day and stay well.